Hopefully you saw our other video explaining some of the similarities and differences between a master's and PhD degree, and hopefully that video helped you make the best decision for yourself about which degree is right for you. If so, this video will help you understand how to apply to our program if you're interested in either a master's or PhD degree. Let's start with the master's degree. How do you apply as a prospective student for a master's degree? And I want to start with one of the frequently asked questions that we get, which is, if your undergraduate degree is not in automotive engineering, can you still apply to our master's program in automotive engineering? And the answer is absolutely yes, we would love that. Most of our students have undergraduate degrees from either mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, chemical engineering, computer science, computer engineering, or even physics. And some of our undergraduate students do have a background in automotive engineering, but it's not the most common degree that we accept. We don't expect that you would know any automotive engineering before coming to our program. We teach you everything you need to know about automotive engineering. We do expect that you have a background in science, maybe engineering, and you have a strong background in math, and we look to see that you have the required calculus courses, and we look for some sort of computer programming course. Okay, so if you're interested in applying, then how do you apply? Well, for the master's degree, it is a very standardized process, not very dissimilar from a bachelor's degree. There's a standard timeline, there's standardized materials. For example, you will need to submit your unofficial transcript from your undergraduate institution. If your undergraduate institution was outside of the United States, then you will need to submit English language test scores. We accept IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo. We'll post a helpful link in the description of this video to the graduate school requirements for English language test scores. There are minimum requirements that you need to hit, and if you know what those are, then as you take the test and see your scores, you'll know right away if you met the minimum or not. And if you didn't, you might just need to practice some more and retake the test. The next thing you'll submit is your resume or CV, however you call it, and a personal statement or essay. This is your opportunity to sell yourself to us, explain to us why you're interested in our program, why you're interested in automotive engineering, and why you think you would be successful in our program. The minimum requirement is 2 letters of recommendation, but we do strongly suggest 3 letters. It's always helpful to have the 3rd. And we strongly suggest that at least one of those letters should be a faculty member at your undergraduate institution. They don't all have to be. In fact, if you have been working for the last 2 or 3 years, it does make sense that maybe your supervisor at your company would give you a letter of recommendation. But if we don't see any letters from your undergraduate institution, it's a little suspicious. We look at those letters to see whether you would be successful in our program, and the best person to judge that is somebody who knows you as a student from your undergraduate institution. Additionally, for those letters, please use official email addresses. If we see 3 letters of recommendation and they're all from @gmail.com, it's a little suspicious to us. Okay, everybody always wants to know, is the GRE required or not? And the answer is no, it's not required, but it is strongly recommended. If you send in your test scores, it could only help your application prove to us that you would be successful in our program. You can see the deadlines below for the spring start or the fall start, and honestly, those are not hard deadlines. If you submit your application a little bit after those deadlines, we will do our best to still review your application. But if you are an international student, it's very strongly recommended to get your application in before these deadlines, and that's simply because then we can guarantee that you will get your visa in time for the start of the following semester. If you submit after these deadlines, we can't guarantee that the visa will come in time. Okay, let's talk about applying to the PhD program. And I want to point out that the process of applying to a PhD program is completely different from applying for a bachelor's or master's degree. And the reason why is because all PhD students have their tuition paid for by their faculty advisor, and that student is also given a stipend to live on. That stipend is sort of analogous to a salary. It's not a lot, but it's enough to pay for rent and for groceries. That makes these positions incredibly desirable and competitive, and it also makes them very rare. Essentially, the money is flowing the other way. Instead of the student paying the school for a master's degree, the school is paying the student for the PhD degree. That makes the PhD more like applying for a job, where your first question to prospective faculty advisors would be whether or not there is a job opening. So the first step in applying for a PhD is determining which area you would like to do research in, or another way of saying that, determining the list of faculty members that you would be excited about doing research under. Keep in mind that when you get a PhD degree, you become a world expert in a very specific area, and it's very likely that you'll spend at least a portion of your career working in that area. So you want to pick an area that excites you, but you also want to pick a broad enough area so that you can have multiple faculty members and try to ask them if they have an opening when you're looking to start your PhD. So I put this link here, and we'll also have this link in the description, and I'll show you where this link takes you. So this link takes you to our webpage, where if you scroll down, you can see our department chair, and you can read a little bit about him. And then if you continue to scroll down, you will see our department directory, and the faculty is expanded. And you can click on each one of the faculty and read more about their research interests. I'll give you an example of myself. So here's the page for myself. You can see that I do have a link to my lab website here. Not every faculty member would have that link, but some do, some don't. Either way is okay, but you can read more information about me and my research on my website. Otherwise, every faculty member will have at least a couple paragraphs where you can read about their background and about their research interests and help decide if that's something that interests you and if that's an area that you would like to study. Once you have your list of faculty members, then you start by sending them an email. And you say, I'm interested in your research. This is a little bit about my background and why I think I would be successful in your research group. Do you have an opening for the start of fall 2025, just as an example? And when you send that email, keep in mind that faculty are very busy and they might miss your email, so they might not reply for that reason. They also might not reply because they don't have any openings, and we're so busy that sometimes we don't even have enough time to reply saying that. So please feel free to follow up with the faculty that you're very interested in working under. Please don't follow up in less than a week. That's always a pet peeve of mine. If I get an email from a student and in less than 24 hours I get a follow-up email, our response time is not that good. I apologize. We get a lot of emails and it's hard to keep up with the email traffic. So give us at least a week, and if you still haven't heard, then feel free to follow up and just say, just following up, I'm really excited about working with you. You know, that shows persistence. Chances are the faculty member might reply at that point and say, I saw your email and I apologize that I just don't have any openings. But at least you know then you can move on to the next faculty member and try to find a fit. Once you do find a faculty advisor and they're committed to taking you on as a new student and you're committed to working with them, that's when you submit all of the application materials we talked about on the previous slide. You're still going to need to submit your unofficial transcript, your resume, your test scores, but you only need to do that after finding a faculty advisor and having them commit to taking you on. That's really the most critical step. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please feel free to check out all of the other videos on our YouTube channel. Thanks so much.